Hey Sloabie Nation, welcome back to another DIY Friday. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but my backdrop is a little bit different. I added some fun new little artwork here, and maybe it will inspire you guys to try out something that is very similar to this. I've been getting to go to a lot of cute little art pop-up shops. What I've been noticing is that they are selling a lot of these preserved insects and bugs in these cute little shadow boxes. And it reminds me of the exhibit that I saw at the Natural History Museum in New York. It's called The Spectrum of Life, and if you guys are in New York, definitely head over and take a look at it. It's really, really awesome. I don't know, it's just really pretty and it's very inspiring, and it got my biology side all tingly. I might be considered innovative and creative, but I don't think I have a lot of artistic skills when it comes to rendering an image. Being a painter, I tend to use stock images. Sometimes there's no shame in getting a little bit of help. I do pay for my stock images. It's only fair when someone provides me with something in order for me to further my imagination and creativity. For this video, in spirit of graphicstocks.com and their creator to creator initiative, that's how I decided to use some of their stock images to create these DIYs for you guys. So just a quick shout out to Graphic Stocks for sponsoring this video. You guys are awesome, and you guys have a lot of awesome images that I can use. Now we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into this DIY. So let's start off with grabbing some images from their archive. Okay, I'm going to pull up graphicstock.com, and here in my account I'm going to create a folder for this project. And if you guys just go back to the front page and click on any one of the topics, you can find that there's a ton of different images to choose from here. So I'm going to go through some of the photos here, and I'm going to pick something that has flowers in it. It's easier if you have white backgrounds because then it's less editing afterwards. And then here I'm just looking for some cute little butterflies, and yeah, there's just so many things that you can choose from. So just type in a topic or a subject and something will pop up. But for this project, it's best to pick something that has a white background so it's easier to work with. If you guys want, you can click on the link down below. I actually saved all of these images that I use in this project into a folder on Graphicstock, and I also added a couple of other fun ones too if you guys want to check those out. Okay, so I saved all of the files onto my computer and I plugged into Photoshop, and I put the images onto a standard US letter paper. Now the size of your images will be dependent on your frame, so if you want, you can just print out different sizes. I just did not do that. I actually measured it out correctly and then I put it in Photoshop. Okay, now it's time to print out your images, and if you went to school in the early 90s or even in the early 2000s, you know what these are. They're transparency films, and instead of using PowerPoint slides, teachers would print their images on this thing and then use a projector to project the image onto a wall. And make sure you get the one that is compatible for either an inkjet printer or a laser printer, and I just print out my images here. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need some picture frames, and I bought 6 of these from the thrift store for less than $10, so make sure you go to a thrift store and pick up your frames. It's cheaper that way. So to prepare the frames, you're going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit by removing the price tags and also using a wipe to remove any of the dust. Also, if the adhesive on the price tags are super tenacious, you're going to use a little bit of alcohol and a cotton wipe to just remove it, and that's the easiest way to go about that. So I like my frames to kind of match my decor, so I'm just going to paint over some of them. And if you want to do this, just use like a white acrylic paint to create a base first. And once the base is completely dry, you can go ahead and paint it any color that you like. And one of my favorite craft paints would have to be by the Waverly brand, and they have it in different finishes. And I'm just going to go ahead and coat this whole thing with this one color, and then I do a second coat if I feel like I'm missing some spots or something. The next fun transformation is by using rub-on metallic wax. If you guys haven't used this before, it's super amazing. So what you do is you dip your sponge into the wax and then you just rub it onto the frame. This is a great way to cover up any frames that is kind of tarnished, or if you wanted to give it a really nice metallic finish. This is a little bit more expensive than spray paint, but honestly it's so much worth it because it dries super quickly. It also gives you a really beautiful metallic finish, and it doesn't smell when you're using it. Okay, now we can actually work with our printed images. Go ahead and cut it out so that it fits the size of your frames. Okay, so I'm going to start out with this floral frame first, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the back. So there's going to be these little prongs that are holding the back in, so you're just going to peel it back and then take out the back and even the stock images that came with the frames. Now since we don't need the backing for this project, you're going to remove the prongs completely, so just use your pliers and kind of wiggle it out. Once you're done with that, go ahead and take out the glass part of the frame. And with your hot glue gun, go ahead and place a long bead of glue on the inner edges of the frame. Take the glass piece and place it right back into the frame and push down so that it adheres to the glue. Now take your image and place it right into the frame. And take your glue gun and create a nice long thin stream of hot glue at the edges. Make sure that you do not get glue anywhere else except for the edge, otherwise when you flip the frame over you can actually see the glue from the other side, and that's not too pretty. Technically you're done here. If you flip it over, it's going to be a really cool transparent image in a really awesome frame, but I'm going to go ahead and take it to the next level. For this next part, you're going to need a piece of craft wire. Now on one corner of your frame, you can go ahead and use a screwdriver and screw in a screw. Take your craft wire and wrap it around the screw a couple of times and make sure that it's nice and secure. Now on the opposite corner, go ahead and also place a screw down on that corner. Okay, so take the other end of the wire that is not attached to the screw and just feed in a couple of beads. Go ahead and find the midpoint of the wire and then redistribute the beads so that they're equal on both sides. Right in the center, make sure that you give it a good 1 to 2 inch spacing so that you can create a little twist and make it into a loop. Now take the other end of the wire and go ahead and wrap it around the screw that's on the opposite corner. With the excess that's cut off from that screw, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it at the top where the loop is so that it's nice and secure, and it also gives it an extra nice touch. Okay, technically you're done here, but you know me, I like to be extra, so we're gonna play with some LED fairy lights. What I do is I place the fairy lights onto the edge of the frame and I kind of just hide it behind the frame. So every time you do this, make sure that you flip it over to see that the wire isn't peeking through. And to keep it in place, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it down with my hot glue gun, and I work on this all the way around the frame. And the last part is to glue the battery pack down. Make sure that the lid is facing towards you so then you can remove it and replace the batteries whenever necessary. And now you are finally done. If you look at the front, it's very nice and clean, but in the back you can see all the wires here, and you could turn the switch on and off to see if it illuminates. And now you could just use a nail and a hammer and simply hang it up, and I actually made 6 of these because I think it looks better as a collection. So what do you guys think of the DIY? Don't they look super fantastic? At some of these artist pop-up shops, I've noticed them going for around $60 to $70. It was a little bit out of pocket range for me. Also, I am not eager to be in the business of capturing and categorizing my own insects and bugs. Not that they give me the heebie-jeebies or anything. A butterfly should be out there flying, and the chances of one just kind of like, dying and naturally being preserved before I can actually find it, pick it up and frame it is very, very rare. So using printable images work much better for me. So if you guys like this DIY and if you guys are gonna try it out, be sure to use the hashtag HeyKL or SLOABN. Tag me on any one of my social medias because I would love to take a look at your DIYs. If you are feeling totally creative and up to the challenge and you don't want to try out my DIY, or maybe you do want to try out my DIY and you want to use the same stock images, you can click on the link down below to graphicstocks.com and get a 7-day free trial subscription. They have an archive of over 350,000 different images that you can select from. They have graphics and vectors, so if you need to create a cool logo or a really cool title or something, there is a bunch of stuff for you to just pick out and be creative with. Be sure to use the hashtag Creator2Creators. This will also help Graphicstock know that they are adding more color to the world by giving you guys resources to be more imaginative and innovative with your ideas. Think of it this way, you are expanding your creative skills, but at the same time, you are giving credit to artists that work really hard on some of their images as well. I scratch your back, you scratch scratch my back kind of thing. But for now, Sloabies, you guys know, if you like this video, be sure to like it down below. Share it with everyone that you know. Of course, support my channel by hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit on that notification bell, because every single time when I upload, it's gonna go, hey, KO just uploaded a video, and you can just run right over to my channel and check out what new shenanigans I am up to. I hope you guys enjoy it, and you guys know how to end my videos. Remember to always rock on, Sloabies. Bye! I haven't been tweeting this out quite yet. I do have a DIY book that is coming out July 4th. It's a few projects on temporary tattoos and different body art and stuff. So if you guys are heading out to any music festivals or parties, you can adorn yourself with such. But it is on sale right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's also available on IndieBound, and I will link that down below. So the reason why I've been gone also is because I've been planning a launch party for my book at the end of July. If any of you guys are not in Houston, you definitely can purchase the book from the links that I'm posting down below. For those of you who are in Houston, and if you guys would like to come to my launch party, it'll be kind of like a launch party, a meet and greet, a book signing. It's gonna be small, obviously, but at the same time, like, I have activity booths and stuff, so you guys can go and also hang out and have some food and some drinks. And the tickets I will have available on Eventbrite in the next couple of days here. It is $35, but it will come up with a copy of my book and a swag bag, which has a bunch of really cool products that is sponsored and given to me by brands that I've worked with in the past. That's one of the coolest thing, is to be able to work with all these great brands and then be able to reach out to them and be like, hey, can you do me a huge solid and, you know, provide something for